everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for November's reading and life vlog. You are balanced on the coffee table, if you were wondering, and I'm sat on the floor. Not important. It is Saturday the 5th of November and I have not actually come on and told you anything about how November's going so far as of yet. No particular reason, I just haven't. So it is NaNoWriMo, so National Novel Writing Month. I'm assuming it must have started in the US, hence the national, but it's an international thing now. There's a website and they do all sorts of things to do with writing. So November is National Novel Writing Month, but then there's also various different like camp NaNoWriMos throughout the year and different things. They do have little videos you can watch from writers. They have coaches, which are different authors. You can like say where in the world you live and they will connect you up with other writers from your area. So they have like forums and they're organizers, delegates, I guess, from those areas organize different write-ins and different things like that. So I signed up to NaNoWriMo and yeah, I have been writing every day. The idea is that you sign up and it's supposed to be that you write a novel, a 50,000 word novel. So, I mean, depending on what you're writing, what category you're writing, what genre you're writing, it may or may not, in fact, be the length that is required for a novel. 50,000 words is probably like a young adult, maybe like a contemporary adult fiction, but if you're doing more genre fiction, sci-fi and fantasy in particular, then it's expected it's going to be a lot longer. But anyway, you're at least on your way if you've written 50,000 words. So it's supposed to be 50,000 words this month, and they have like a tracker and you put in how much you've done. I mean, if you want to. And then it tells you like you've written this much and on average you're writing this much per day. And if you continue at that pace, you'll finish by blah. So I'm behind on that, but I'm only behind by a little bit, and the whole thing, like, I would love to do 50,000 words in November, like, that would be awesome, but I just know it's probably highly unlikely. But the thing is that I may have said before, on different occasions, you've seen me talk about writing on various different occasions, but not in any great seriousness. But my main thing is that I don't have the discipline to make myself sit down and be an author. I mean, obviously I'm not published, so I can't really say I'm an author. I have to say I'm a writer. Well, that's how I feel about it anyway. But yeah, I feel like I don't yet really have the discipline, so this is actually really helping me. So I have got a manuscript of something else that I've written, which I worked on for basically like probably 5 years, and I've just sent it off to some various different people, asking if they could read through it and see what they think of it. Not asking for specific edits or anything, just to see what they think of it. And now I've got this one and I'm trying to, I've started a new project for Nano. I'm trying to, sorry, that's the, that's Rowan mowing the lawn. Yeah, I'm trying to write a lot. I'm not trying to write every day. I'm trying to write a substantial amount every day, but it's 1,666 words that you're expected to, what is how much you need to do if you're going to write 50,000 words in a month. 1,666 words a day. Obviously, you could write 50,000, you could write, I don't know, 5,000 words one day and nothing the next day. But that's the expectation. That's like how it breaks down. So I've written about 4,000 words at this point. So I'm very much behind because it's 5th today. I think I should have written 8 or maybe even 9,000 words at this point. So I'm behind, but I'm still happy I'm writing every day, which is not something I really have done before. So I'm happy with that. I'm also happy with what I'm putting out. I mean, obviously it's going to go through many amounts of rewrites and edits and everything, but I'm happy with what I've got so far. I'm actually writing very differently from how I've ever written before. Normally I think that's where I struggle actually a lot of the time. The one that I wrote, just finished, that I said I've sent to people, is the first like full proper manuscript I've ever managed to actually produce. And I think it's because of the way I wrote, because I write from start to finish, whereas this time I'm writing very like just piecemeal. I'm writing a thing I want to write there. It's all with the same story in mind, but it's different bits of it and different parts, and yeah. So yeah, that's been really interesting. I'm feeling like I'm getting a lot out of it, which is kind of the main thing, I think. And then there is NaNoWriMo, which is, for those people that don't know, something that Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany started this November. So it's basically kind of started as like a little bit of a joke. She just put a thing on Twitter saying, all those people who are, you know, getting FOMO because you're not doing NaNoWriMo, what about NaNoWriMo? So like National Novel Reading Month. And she essentially said, like, make your own amount. So she ended up getting a lot of traction on Twitter. So she put up a announcement video, which I will link below. She started, yeah, so she said, like, basically make your own kind of goal. So I don't know, I think she might be doing 10,000, maybe even 50,000 pages. It's not words, it's pages. I've set it to 5. I was like, yeah, now I have FOMO about that, so I want to join in that. Why not do both? So basically, I mean, I read very kind of like, you know, I sit down and read a whole book in a day, or I sit down and read 20 pages a day. Like, it depends on what's going on. But yeah, so essentially, in order to do 50,000 words for NaNoWriMo, I need to have written 1,666 words a day. And in order to have read 5,000 words, 5,000 pages for NaNoWriMo, I need to read 166 pages a day. As you can probably imagine, I'm not doing either of those things. You are currently leaning on a book that I am reading. Let's see if I can look at where I'm up to without disturbing you. Oh, that totally failed. So I'm to page 127 in the book that you're currently leaning on, which I've been reading. I think I started this one on Wednesday morning. Yeah, I did. And then I've got another book that I'm in the middle of that I've read like 2/3 of, which is I think around 300 pages maybe. So I'm at a fairly similar point in my reading. I've read about 450 pages and I've written about 4,000 words. So I'm actually like at a similar point. That's interesting. But yeah, so I feel like it's going well, both things. I don't know if I'll get the 50,000 words or the 5,000 pages read/written, but it's kind of fun anyway. So that's where I'm at. In terms of what I'm reading, I started reading The Disappearance of Amber Crow by Amberlynn Kramer-Lena on the first day of November, because I did say in my TBR, which is linked below as well, that I need to make that a priority. I put that on so many TBRs and not read it, so I needed to make it a priority, which I have done. I started on the first. I'm really enjoying it. A lot of interesting things going on, a lot of stuff I wasn't expecting, and yeah, just really, really interesting and fun. And then I am also reading the book you are sitting on, which is The Island of the Mad by L'Oreal King. So this is the 15th, I think, book in the Mary Russell series, which is a series that I absolutely love. And yeah, I'm really enjoying that one. I read 127 pages of that, so I'd say about 1/3 of the way through that as well. But anyway, so like I said, it's Saturday morning. I have my live show for Bitterblue on my channel in about an hour and a half or something like that. So I think what I'm going to do is sit down and do a little bit more writing, and then this afternoon I want to do, after the live show, so this afternoon I want to do a little bit of gardening and just kind of catch up stuff, and then yeah, I'm gonna do a bit more reading. So we'll see what happens today. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and that's what I wanted to update you on, and I'm gonna go. It's Wednesday morning, about 11:30, and I've just come for a little walk, and it's such a nice day that I decided to sit in the little greenbelt parklandy thing that's just down the road. I am actually sitting on the bitumen path. There are seats in this little parky thing which I could be sitting on, but they're in the sun. So I want to sit in the shade, so I'm sitting on the ground, and I would sit on the grass, but the grass is wet, so you know. this is where we are. Anyway, it is the 8th of November. I am feeling pretty happy with how things are going this month. I updated NaNoWriMo yesterday on the website, and according to the website and what I've inputted, I've written over just over 4,000 words, which I realise is not quite up to date, up to where the aim would be at this stage. The aim would be like 10,000 words, but you know, I'm still pretty happy with that. I've written every day except Sunday, which I'm happy with again. Wrote another 300 and something words this morning, and then Ellie and I are going live on my channel in a couple of hours to do some more. So I'm hoping to do another. I wrote 2,000 yesterday. It'd be awesome to write another 2,000 today, but at least another 300 would be amazing. I am not taking NaNoWriMo like intensely seriously in the sense of it'd be amazing to write 50,000 words in November, but I feel like it's mostly at this stage about kind of schooling myself to be a bit more purposeful and a bit more disciplined with my writing, and trying to write maybe not every day after November, but certainly, you know, at least every week, if not, you know, a few times a week, because I do still have ambitions of being a writer, which I've had since I was in my teenage years. So, you know, maybe I'll still get there. I mean, I'm a writer, I guess, an author, published author. And then reading-wise, I'm happy. I, again, am not probably up to where I potentially would like to be. I'm just going to put you down. That's a terrible angle. Where I potentially would like to be in order to read 5,000 pages this month. But I finished a book. I read the first 50 pages of another book, and I'm fairly close to finishing another book, so I'm pretty happy with that as well. Be about 500 pages or something like that, so yeah, still not the 10,000 that I mean, not the 1,000 I ought to be at. I feel like I ought to be at, but halfway there again. Halfway, you know what I'm trying to say, I hope. Anyhow, yeah, so I just kind of wanted to sit here for a little bit because it's a nice day and I'm just in the shade and, you know, enjoy the outdoors, even though I'm like in the middle of two roads, but, you know, it's the best you can get in the suburbs sometimes. Yeah, so that's really all I have to say. Hello, it's Thursday afternoon, and I'm about halfway through Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I am reading this with Sierra from Sierra the Book Addict. So we're reading 11 chapters a day because there's 55 chapters in it, so we're reading it over 5 days. And I'm, yeah, like I said, halfway through. And I had to stop and just talk about this. Yeah, this is a great book, but I can totally understand why a lot of people have felt like they couldn't read it, or that it was too soon. When was it written? It was published, I should say, in 2014. It feels like some of particularly what I was just reading, feels like what it felt like in the early days of COVID, and what we all were kind of anticipating and expecting. So the book bounces between the beginning of the pandemic and the aftermath 7 or 8 years later, and then well before that, people's lives, and then we're just in a section where someone is talking about it's the pandemic's been going on for like 7 or 8 days, and cities are slowly going dark, people are dying all over the place, and it's just like amazing and astounding and horrible. And yeah, like obviously that's not exactly how COVID happened. Like we don't have a post-apocalyptic society. Thousands of people died, and it's obviously, I mean, millions of people died. It's obviously awful and horrendous. I'm not suggesting otherwise, but we still have a functioning society that functioned like it did, whereas they don't in this book. But yeah, it's really eerie because like it genuinely felt like that might have been what we were heading towards in the early days of COVID. I feel like maybe I'm not as touched by it because we had lockdown for like 4 months and we were all freaked out when it first started and we didn't know what was going on when it first came to Australia. But they shut the borders to Tasmania reasonably quickly, May or June of 2020. So I live in an island state of Australia, so Australia's already reasonably isolated, and then we're the island state and they were able to shut the borders, so we actually had life pretty much as normal, and we didn't have COVID at all on it in our state for most of the like half of 2020 and most of 2021. And they opened the borders when like 95% of people were vaccinated, and people are still getting COVID, but far less people are dying of it. And yeah, I mean, I still don't think it was a great idea, but that's beside the point. So I kind of didn't have that same months and months of lockdown and isolation and eeriness of going into the city and there no one being there and that sort of thing. But still, it's really weird. It's really eerie. It feels like reading something that's a lot more, this could have been us. Like, I totally get how this could have happened. I totally get how this would have felt. Does that make sense? Anyway, yeah, so that's how that's going. I started on Tuesday morning, I think. I am in the middle of organising my 1,000 subscriber celebration, which will have happened by the time you see this. And we're organising Hemisphere Christmas games for this year, the announcement will have happened by the time you see this. So I'll link it below if you're interested, if you haven't heard anything about that yet. It is Friday. It's just still the morning, and yeah, I thought I'd update you on a few things. So it's actually Ron's birthday today, and he's currently at work. He had to go into the office and he had to take our car in to get serviced, but he will be back obviously this afternoon, and I am planning on making him a carrot cake because it's his favourite cake. We're having some people around this evening for pizza and games and drinks and hanging out, so that's what's going on today. I haven't actually read anything else since I last spoke to you, or written anything else since I last spoke to you, but it's still, I've still got the entire afternoon. Anyway, I've received some book mail recently, so I want to show you some of that. The first thing I want to show you is not actually a book, but it's bookish mail, and that is this little postcard from Bethany, from Beautifully Bookish Bethany, featuring her haunted ring light. If you watch her channel, you know what that's referring to. And the little postcard on the back, it's printed up. She sent it to all of her patrons, which is really nice. So I've reasonably recently become a patron of Beautifully Bookish Bethany, and yeah, that's one of the things that, you get a postcard, which was really awesome. And I really like the little spooky haunted ring light. So that came in the mail yesterday, and then I also got this book in the mail yesterday. So this is Shadow of the Winter Moon, which says Book 1 of the Craven Chronicles by Cam Sinclair. So on the back it says, Maleficent forces are stirring in Craven City. Sharrock is a brutish sellsword with hard temper and hard reputation. His life is cast into chaos and mortal peril when the simple task of locating helpless drunk and vagabond Realm Hangs turns out to be much more difficult than anticipated. Conspiracies that threaten the very fabric of society will be uncovered, scores will be settled, violence unleashed, and the lines between right and wrong, hero and villain blurred beyond recognition. Welcome to the Shadow of the Winter Moon, Book 1 of the Craven Chronicles. So you can probably tell from the way the image is, the kind of darkness of the image, the blood on the words and everything. This is a grimdark fantasy. Cam Sinclair is a self-published author, and I believe he's from Western Australia, and he sent me a message on Twitter saying, hey, I've written a book, I like your content, I think you might potentially like my book, would you consider reading it? And I was like, sure. Why not? Because, I want to support self-published authors, I want to support Australian authors, and I do enjoy fantasy. Probably not huge, grimdark in comparison to epic, but I still do enjoy a good grimdark as well, so I'm excited to read this one at some point. So yeah, I got that in the mail yesterday. Now, today I have picked up 3 packages in the mail, which I haven't opened yet, which I thought I'd open for you. I don't know what these are. I haven't ordered anything through Amazon. I think that what these are for is Jane from I Read Cereal Boxes ran a... I'm not really sure what she called it exactly. It was kind of like, it was like a prize draw type thing for her birthday, and anyone that entered, the deal was that I think she drew 5 people out as winners, and those 5 people, 3 people from the non-winners from the list would send them a book. So I think that's what this is about. So I'm going to open them on camera for you. Yeah, so let's see if I can figure out how to open the book, the packaging. Ah, I thought it was that. Okay, so this first one, ooh, I can see the book already, but let's get the gift card. This first one is from Kate, is book D8 with Kate. So that's on Instagram. It says, congrats, hope you enjoy this read. So I think that, yeah, it must be because I'm a winner. So thank you so much, Kate. And it is As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is the final book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, not including the special little one that was written for National Book Day, I think, which is in the UK, and I don't think we can get that here. But anyway, yeah, I'm really excited to have this one. I've heard mixed things about this last one, but I really enjoy this series. I really enjoy Holly Jackson's writing style, so I'm looking forward to giving it a try. So that was book one, so thank you so much, Kate. Book two, Alright, I'm trying to not see the book first. Alright, so this one is from Amy, and it is the Sassy Nerd blog. Enjoy your gift from Amy. Thank you, Amy. And the book is... Oh, Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty. This is Leanne Moriarty's latest book, I believe. When was it published? 2021. Yes, I believe this is her latest book. And it is not in a series, sorry, I don't know why I was looking for that. So, yeah, Leanne Moriarty wrote Big Little Lies. I think that's probably her most popular work. So I will just read the back to you. From the outside, the Delaney's appear to be an enviably contented family. Even after all these years, former tennis coaches Joy and Stan are still winning tournaments, and now that they've sold the family business, they have all the time in the world to learn how to relax. Their 4 adult children are busy living their own lives, and while it could be argued they never quite achieved their destinies, no one ever says that out loud. But now, Joy Delaney has disappeared and her children are re-examining their parents' marriage and their family history with fresh, frightened eyes. Is her disappearance related to the mysterious house guest from last year? Were things never as rosy as they seemed in the Delaney household? So I really enjoy Leanne Moriarty. I didn't love Nine Perfect Strangers, to be perfectly honest, or What Alice Forgot, but I've really enjoyed all of her other books, so I'm really excited to read this one and see what I think of it. So thank you so much, Amy. And then the final book. So it is from Sam, which is Sammy Ever After. Hi Melanie, congrats on winning a book from Books Joe Reads Raffle. Hope you enjoy this book. And it is... Oh, The Exiles by Jane Harper. So this is this the most recent? Yes, this is Aaron Fox. This is the most recent book, and it is I think the third in the Aaron Fox Festival. Aaron Fox series. Sorry, I just saw the word festival. I don't think you have to read them in order. I've read The Dry, which is the first one. I don't think you have to read them in order. So anyway, yeah, this is awesome. I love this cover. I think it's just stunning. And I'll read the back of this to you as well. Aaron Falk returns in this masterful novel of intrigue. At a busy festival site on a warm spring night, a baby lies alone in her pram, her mother having vanished into the crowds. A year on, Kim Gillespie's absence casts a long shadow as her friends and loved ones gather deep in the heart of a South Australian wine country to welcome a new addition to the family. Aaron Falk, a federal investigator, is joining the celebrations, but as he soaks up life in the lush valley, he begins to suspect this tight-knit group may be more fractured than it seems. As hidden truth slowly emerges, Falk faces the darkest of questions. Awesome. I've been hearing really great things about this one. So, we have actually 3 sort of mystery books. So this one is probably a more sort of standard thriller mystery style book. Aaron Fox is... he's technically a financial investigator, but he is a policeman and he is capable of doing homicides and stuff like that. So that's probably more, I guess, police procedural, although The Dry had a lot of other stuff going on as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how this one goes. And then this one is a domestic thriller. So this one, thriller mystery. Yeah, so this will be more domestic. Really cool. And then this one is... Like I said, this is the 3rd book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. So the Good Girl's Guide to Murder, the first book, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, is about Pip, who is a high school student. She's in her last year of high school. And her kind of big project that she does throughout the year. In her last year, it must be an English thing because we didn't do anything like that in high school. But anyway, or well, not when I was at school, which is a while ago. Not the point. She chooses to look into this murder that happened like 5 years prior to the story starting. So the situation with the murder was that this late teen woman, late teen girl, this girl in her late teens is killed or disappears, and her boyfriend is accused of killing her, but there's never any, you never find her body, there's never any evidence, she just disappeared, but he's accused of murdering her, and then he commits suicide. And Pip is not convinced that this is how it all went down, so she decides to investigate that. And then the second one is Pip doing a blog about investigations, and another investigation happens. And this one says Pip Fitzamoby is haunted by her last investigation. But soon a new case finds her, and this time it's all about Pip. She has a stalker, one who keeps asking who will look for you when you're the one who disappears. Pip soon discovers a connection between her stalker and a local serial killer, but the police refuse to act. As the dangerous game plays out, it's clear that if Pip doesn't find the answers, she's as good as dead. So yeah, I'm excited to read that one as well. So that's all the stuff that I have to show you today. So thank you so much, Jane, for running this little giveaway. And I'm super grateful to all those people who sent me something, and I'm really excited to read all of these books. So it is Tuesday, the 15th of November, and I am about to film my announcement video for the Hemisphere Christmas Games, which is why I'm wearing a Christmas t-shirt, but I live in Tasmania, which of course means that in the middle of November, yes, we do like to have a cold front come through. So it's actually like 8 degrees or something. The other part of the house, we have the heater on. It's not too bad in here, but that's because I'm wearing a jacket or a hoodie. So I'm sat here in this hoodie in a cold room, planning on filming a video in which I talk about how, hey, the whole entire world doesn't get snow on Christmas, knowing full well that we have in fact here in Tasmania gotten snow on Christmas. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm about to do, which is why I'm talking about this random shirt I'm wearing. A random Christmas shirt I'm wearing in the middle of November. Anyway, I thought I'd update you on how things are going. I am doing okay with NaNoWriMo and NaNoWriMo. I'm not up to date where I should be in order to get the 50,000 words written for NaNoWriMo and the 5,000 pages read for NaNoWriMo. But I'm chugging along reasonably well. In the first bit of the month, I finished The Disappearance of Ember Crow, which was 437 pages, and I finished The Island of the Mad, which was 345, and I finished Station 11, which was 333 pages. So let's add all of that up. 1,115 pages. So I'm definitely below where I need to be, but I'm still reading quite a lot. I have also read 21 pages of The Good People by Hannah Kent, and I have read 103 pages of The What Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Celine Tan. So that's 1,226 or something like that. So yeah, I'm definitely 1,226. So I'm definitely on the way. I'm probably going to be below 5,000, but I am certainly making good headway. Same with my NaNoWriMo. So I've written 11,841, and according to my stats page, I will be finished by the 2nd of January 2023 if I continue at this rate. But that is because I took Friday, Saturday and Sunday off writing, which wasn't intentional, but that's just kind of the way it turned out. I mean, when I say it wasn't intentional, like I obviously intentionally didn't write, like I could have made myself sit down and write, but I mean, I didn't plan initially on Friday to take 3 days off. But yeah, so that's how NaNoWriMo and NaNoWriMo are going. So I finished Station 11. I do not recall whether I talked to you about the end of this when I finished it. I don't think I did. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It was really, really interesting, really well written. I love the way all the different threads ended up being woven together. I thought that was really clever. It made sense how it all kind of came together and what the connections were, but they were still like just kind of accidental, if that makes sense. It still wasn't like, oh yeah, of course that would happen because of that. It's just sort of the way it ended up. It was very obviously, yeah, unintentional, accidental, rather than the author being like, how clever I am. Although that in itself made her very clever. I think I did say major trigger warnings for COVID, essentially. I was feeling okay, but then there's a section of the book where there was one of the characters, they were talking about the symptoms she had when she got this illness, and they were very much the same as the symptoms that I had when I had COVID. I obviously recovered, I'm perfectly fine, I don't have any long COVID effects or anything like that, but it was still really confronting, and it was still really hard to read because it was easy to imagine that this could have gone a very different way. I was really sick. I mean, I don't think I was anywhere near death, and obviously I recovered fully, but I was really quite sick. So I can only imagine how I would have felt if I hadn't been vaccinated, and I'm not at risk particularly. I'm older than a lot of YouTubers. I'm not, an elderly person. And yeah, this book was a lot. It was really good though. I highly recommend it as a book that is well written and interesting if it's the kind of thing you're interested in, but do just be careful. So yeah, I have read, like I said, 103 pages of Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I am enjoying it. It's definitely interesting, but this is not a criticism of the writing style. I think it is well done, but I think it's just that it's not my preference. So there's a lot of stuff going on and it happens quite quickly. It's very fast paced. There's a lot of, like, the beats are real quick. There's not a lot of description or things being fleshed out. And given that this is 498 pages long, like the actual story, I feel like there could have been a little bit slower and it could have been a little bit more detail, but I do think that's a personal preference. And also I do believe that this is technically young adult. Certainly the main character is a young adult, like I don't know exactly how old she's supposed to be. Maybe it said, but I can't remember. But certainly she's not older than like 18 or 19. So from that point of view, I can understand it. I feel like a lot of young adults, a lot of teenagers want to have things a little bit more fast-paced. So it certainly, I think, works for the age range that it's aiming at. It's just a personal preference, but despite the fact that I'm enjoying it, it does mean that I'm not maybe loving it as much as I potentially could be. But I do think it's interesting, I do think it's well written, and I'm enjoying the story. So there's that one. And then this book I did not mention in my TBR for, November, because I had totally forgotten about it. This is my In Real Life book club pick for this month. We have been doing bi-monthly, but we're going to do one more for this month. We're reading this one. So this is The Good People by Hannah Kent. This is a historical fiction set in 1825 in Ireland, and it is about Nora, whose husband and daughter died in the same year. And now she has to look after her grandson, Mikhail, but she can't look after him very well, so she hires a young 14-year-old servant girl called Mary. And then there is, the good people, which are like fairies, pixies, running around. So I haven't read very much of it. I've read 22 pages. I'm interested so far. We've really only dealt with the death of the husband, but I do think it's well written. I'm enjoying the writing style, so I'm looking forward to reading more of that. But yeah, that is everything for now. I'm going to go. I'm going to film my Hemisphere Christmas Games readathon. I am running out that one this year with Ellie from Earl Grey Books, Kat from Brews and Reviews, and Helen from Helen's Bookhaven. I will link all of their information in the description below. The announcement video will have gone up by the time you see this, so I will link that in the description below, along with, I should say, all the information that you need in order to get involved if you want to. But yeah, I'm going to go now and do that, and I'll talk to you later. Hello. It is, oh, don't have my watch on. It is the 23rd of November, and I feel like I haven't updated the vlog very much at all this month. However, I was editing some of it earlier today, and I realized that I may not have done a huge amount of individual updates, but I have talked a lot. So I'll try and keep this reasonably brief. I'm feeling like I am sort of stalled with NaNoWriMo. I'm definitely still invested in what I'm wanting to write, but I kind of felt like I was stalled on the way I was writing it and what I had written. So I'm taking a couple of days off. I kind of stopped writing like actual bits of the book and started doing more plans. So I have created a character sheet for my character for Bodicea. I did that using a D&D character sheet because reasons. It just felt like the right thing to do. I have started putting together a timeline of her life so I can figure out kind of the beats of the story. But yeah, I just felt like I wasn't really sure what I was doing or kind of what the emphasis should be, so I'm having a bit of a break. Also, I've been reading a lot recently, which is not great. But I am knocking books over. I am 2/3 of the way through The Good People by Hannah Kent. This is the one that I forgot about, so it wasn't in my TBR, but I am reading it and I'm enjoying it. I am about the same amount into Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which I'm enjoying more than I was before. So yeah, that's my update. I'm pretty much just going to leave it there and talk to you later. Hello! It is the last day of November, which means that it's the last day of this vlog. I'm actually uploading this evening and I completely lost track of the time, and it's 4:10, so I really need to, get that done. So, NaNoWriMo, I wrote 17,590 words, which, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't really that much because I kind of changed what I was doing, and then I kind of thought about whether I needed to have more of a plan, and it ended up not really being a novel. But I've definitely got a plan in mind, definitely know what I want to write, and kind of I'm working out the kinks. So I feel like I made a good start to having a novel potentially written, but like at some point, like I've got the bones of a novel, but it's not written and it's not ready, and it's, yeah. Anyway, I participated. That's the main thing, really. NaNoWriMo, I actually don't know where I'm at with that. I definitely didn't reach 5,000 words, but 5,000 pages, I should say, but I really am actually not sure. But I'll probably mention that in my wrap-up, so keep an eye out for that, which will probably go up next Wednesday. I'm still reading Winterkeep. I'm about 1/3 of the way, maybe nearly halfway through that, and I'm still reading Sugar, which hopefully I'll be able to finish tonight, but it really depends on what road I end up doing. But I'll definitely finish it early in December anyway. I'm feeling happy with everything. I mean, I'm sad I didn't finish those books, but I'm trying not to worry about moving books into the next month. Like, I know that's a thing that we all do as booktubers, but it's a total made-up thing that we make up as booktubers, so I'm just trying not to worry too much about it. Anyway, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna finish the edits, which is just this, and then I'm gonna upload the vlog. So please comment below if you have any thoughts on anything that I did during the month, anything that I talked about during the month, any of the books I've read during the month, etc, etc. Let me know how your month went. Did you enjoy November, reading and otherwise? Did you do NaNoWriMo? How'd you go with that? Let me know all those things in the comments below. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me some kind of like pen, pencil, handwriting, something like that for NaNoWriMo. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.